Hey everyone, welcome back to Scareticulous. Buckle up because this might be the most meta Scream theory I have ever come up with. Because Ethan Embry might actually be the most meta, lore-accurate Ghostface in Scream 7.
Huh?
But before I get into it, make sure to hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here, because I could always add more victims to my kill list. So some of you weren't sold on my Mark as Ghostface theory. Fair enough, but you sure had a lot to say about it. And in that video, I briefly mentioned Ethan Embry and how he gave off serious accomplice energy. But after sitting with it, yeah, no. I think Ethan Embry might actually be the main puppet master. Every detail points to him, and the secrecy around his role is insane. We know literally nothing about this character, which in Scream terms usually means he's the one we should be watching. And before anyone says it, no, this isn't some random theory I cooked up in an hour, high on energy drinks and my own ego. This isn't fan fiction either. I really thought this one out and crossed out all the illogical possibilities. This also isn't Stu Macher coming back for the 900th time. This is grounded, plausible, meta, and genuinely fits Kevin Williamson's writing style like a glove. By the time we're done here, I'm telling you, this theory is going to feel canon. Who knows, I might even surprise some of you. Let's dive in. Let's first start off with the casting clue everyone missed. Ethan Embry originally auditioned for the first Scream in 1996, but Kevin Williamson didn't really like his vibe back then. So it's really interesting that he was cast in Scream 7. He almost became part of Woodsboro, but he didn't quite make the cut. And now, almost 30 years later, he's suddenly cast in the Return to the Beginning Scream movie. That's not random. That's storytelling symmetry. Casting someone who barely missed the chance to be part of the original is exactly the kind of wink Kevin Williamson would write into Ghostface mythology. And here's another thing, the 90s meta angle. In Can't Hardly Wait, Ethan plays a guy who is stuck in the past, obsessed with memories, emotionally frozen in his teenage years. And this annoying character keeps telling him throughout the movie,
Man, see if I contact you for the reunion. Man, it's all about the memories, man.
That line alone is basically the Scream 7 plot theme. Because this movie, it is all about memories. I mean, it's practically been staring us in the face this whole time. Now imagine a meta twist where Ethan Embry plays a character who grew up in Woodsboro, never escaped the trauma, never moved on like Sidney did, stayed emotionally stuck in the 90s, still lives in the shadow of Billy and Stu, remembers everything Sidney survived, while he faded into obscurity. He becomes the Ghostface who never got to grow up, the boy frozen in 1996, and the man whose entire life is defined by the first movie. That's the most poetic twist this franchise could pull off at this point. Then there's the psychological horror angle. In The Devil's Candy, a psychological horror film, Ethan Embry gave one of his best performances where he played a mentally torn, emotionally fractured artist. He can switch between vulnerable and unhinged instantly. That's exactly what a Ghostface reveal requires. It also perfectly fits the rumors that his character in Scream 7 is an escaped mental patient. But here's the twist. What if that's just a red herring? He's not actually crazy, he's pretending to be, using it as a misdirect. Kevin Williamson loves killers who weaponize stereotypes. Mickey pretending to be a film nerd, Jill pretending to be the innocent final girl, Billy pretending to be the perfect boyfriend, Embry faking his instability to manipulate Sidney? That's exactly how you write a top-tier Ghostface. I kinda like to call this the forgotten Woodsboro kid theory. Here's the lore bomb. Ethan Embry would have been about 18 years old in 1996, the perfect age to be a Woodsboro classmate, a friend of Casey or Steve, one of Stu Macher's circle, or just someone traumatized by the original murders. Someone who remembers the killings, lost people, never got closure, watched Sidney become a survivor icon, while his life never moved forward. He'd be the Ghostface the story forgot. That is honestly the best motive the franchise could write right now. I mean, the lines in the trailer even seemingly point to him as well. The killer says,
"Nice little town you found. Reminds me of where we grew up."
Not many people can say that, but a forgotten Woodsboro classmate? Perfect fit. The age fits, the story fits, the casting fits, the meta fits. Sidney moved on. Sidney healed. Sidney built a family, but someone else didn't. Someone stayed stuck in Woodsboro forever. Someone who remembers everything. Imagine Ghostface saying, "You got to forget. I didn't. Now it's time to burn it all down." Also, here's the giveaway nobody's talking about. So Matthew Lillard openly said he's back as Stu. No secrecy, no hiding, but Ethan Embry's role is listed as under wraps? Why? Because if Stu were the real twist of the movie, the studio would never let Matthew Lillard spoil it himself. Come on. Actors in this franchise practically have to lie to fans out of tradition at this point. Drew Barrymore lied. Emma Roberts lied. Skeet Ulrich lied. Even Jack Quaid lied. If Stu were the secret mastermind, they'd have him denying everything, not announcing it on Instagram Live. Stu's return is marketing hype, nothing more. They let Lillard say it because Stu isn't the killer. He's the red herring. He's the right hand waving in front of your face while the left hand does the real damage. When a role is kept quiet, no details, no leaks, nothing, that usually means one thing. That character is tied directly to the killer reveal. The fact that Embry is the only cast member being hidden so aggressively? Yeah, that tells you everything. Stu is the distraction, Embry is the danger. My conclusion? I place it a likelihood at a 9 out of 10. Ethan Embry fits every clue. The age fits, the Woodsboro connection fits, the meta-casting fits. He's got the psychological range. He's got the 90s nostalgia themes. The trailer dialogue even supports it, and it has the thematic weight. He's the most believable Ghostface candidate we've had in years. He doesn't break canon, he doesn't rely on a ridiculous twist, he doesn't retcon anything. He completes a 28-year loop. So while the internet keeps screaming, "Stu is back!" I think the studio wants you looking at the wrong guy, because the real threat is the character they refuse to tell you about, Ethan Embry. And here's the craziest part. Every Stu truther thinks Stu Macher has been locked in a psych ward for 30 years. And honestly, that might still be the case. But what if we're paying attention to the wrong mental patient? What if Ethan Embry is that escaped mental patient rumored to be in the movie? What if his escape is the very thing that drags Stu back into the spotlight? What if the conspiracy theorists are right that Stu survived, but completely wrong about his role? Because Stu isn't the killer. Stu is the red herring, the distraction, the noise meant to hide the real reveal. Ethan Embry is the Ghostface nobody's looking at. The missing link to Woodsboro 96. But more on that in my next video. Trust me, you're not ready for this one. So what do you guys think? Is Ethan Embry the Ghostface who never left the 90s? Or is he the ultimate red herring? Drop your theories down below. I read every comment, even the unhinged ones. Thanks everyone for watching, and as always, stay scared.